This is William Haddix with the Central Ohio UFO Reporting Center, and this is a continuation of the Haddix Report podcast that will be out in the coming days on this channel and also can be found on Paranormal Road. I've got a few cases that I've mentioned in the podcast, and I wanted to share the actual video and photographical evidence and go into a little bit more detail than what I was able to on the podcast. So we'll start off with the first case here, which is case B495Z. This was sent to me as just an orb or a disc over Germantown, Ohio on the 22nd of October, 2020. The witness states that him and his wife see these objects almost every time that they go out. It was also told to me that when he was directly underneath of one of these objects, you could see the circular shape with a triangle in the center and what appeared to be windows around the craft. Now keep in mind this is not far from Dayton, Ohio, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, in that vicinity. I have found nothing documented on any kind of radar or anything that I have looked at myself. So this case is still definitely under investigation. At first glance, it looks like a helicopter, but I was not able to find any in the immediate area at the time, which not everything always shows up. And I do have access to where I can look at military radar, but I can only view that when it is live. I can't rewind like I can civilian radar, so that makes it tough to use. But at first glance, that's what that one looks like. But he's seeing these objects quite regularly, so I'm waiting on more video to come in to try to put something together. But this was exactly what was sent to me. The only editing I've done to any of this evidence is I remove the audio. There's no sound of the crafts anyway, so I just remove it due to confidentiality concerns. That's the biggest thing about the reporting center that I always keep in mind is confidential. So while I may share your case and some of your evidence, nothing would ever be able to be tied with you, unless you want me to do so. But that's the evidence from that particular night. Like I say, the witness says they're seeing these craft every time they go out, and it's been going on for a little over a year, is what I was told. So, pretty interesting nonetheless. I don't get too many reports of people seeing stuff, every time they go out. Now, this video here is from the same witness, just not the same night. So this was from a different date, but still falls into evidence of the same case. Normally, I would not take two separate sightings from one individual and put it under the same case, but since this witness said they're seeing these very similar craft every single time they go out at night, then I decided to just include it in the same case. And as you can see, the object at the top of the screen there, and it does flash. It'll play again here so you can see it. Cameras are always hard to keep in focus. But one thing that I do want to mention as far as if you are recording an object in the sky, if your phone is already zoomed in, leave it alone. If your phone is not zoomed in, still leave it alone. The in and out, back and forth really messes with the camera and makes it very hard to get the object. If it is just left alone, then oftentimes I can enhance it myself on the computer, and it makes it a whole lot easier because it ends up being most of the video is blurry due to the fact of the zooming in and out. So whatever your camera starts at, just leave it alone, and normally I can deal with it from there. Now this next case is an interesting one. This is over Ada, Ohio, which is just south of Toledo. Now in Toledo is the 180th Fighter Wing. I've dealt with them numerous times, and I spoke with their Master Sergeant. She's public relations. Very nice lady. And I gave her the information, and they were able to confirm that it is not one of theirs for a couple of reasons. One, I found there's no military operations zones in northern Ohio. They all train in the southern part of the state. And the flares that they use only last a maximum of about 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. And as you will see in this clip, it lasts for about 30 seconds. And nobody practices in that area. Sometimes the operation zones will share airspace, and the bases really don't communicate back and forth all that often as far as who's going to be doing what. I'm sure they just make sure no one's using it tonight, so we do what we want. But northern Ohio, there's nothing like that going on. They just leave and come back. And other bases that I've spoken with said that they get rid of their flares before they land for a safety concern. With the amount of practice and maneuvers and things that they do flying just in general, they said it would be way too costly to dump flares just for that reason, just to waste them. So they have never had an incident, and it's not even a concern. If they don't use it, they just land with it, and they're ready to go for next time. So this particular one was November the 8th at 7:50 p.m. looking north. And like I say, this is Ada, Ohio. A fairly rural area. But as you can see, and the witness says also that the object was going up and down, left and right, which flares can do that depending on the wind at whatever altitude the flare is. The same reason hawks, buzzards, eagles, and large birds can glide for long periods of time. They catch the air currents. So flares can do that too, but in this particular case, there's nothing that anybody seems to be aware of that would drop anything up there, and they last too long. That's why they generally will drop large amounts of flares, because they just do not last. And as you can see in the video, it's very tough to see, but you can see the blinking. I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in on one or not, but as you can tell though, every so often you'll see a blinking, and they said that is what appeared after the orb or the light disappeared. So not really too sure at this point. There was absolutely nothing on the radar in that area. So not really 100% sure yet. Without the military flying around, I don't know anybody else that would use any flares or anything like that. Now this next case Z791X, this was from Fredericktown, Ohio, and this was on 8/31, so this was a couple of months back, and it lasted for 3 minutes. And this is what was reported. So as you can see up by where my mouse pointer is, that is the object. And there's a series of photographs that match up with this. There's another little zoomed in shot. And this is what I actually prefer. If you're going to take photos or even video as far as that goes, if you want to really zoom in on an object, then pause the video. You can take a screenshot or screen capture depending on, whatever phone you have, and you can crop that. You can actually crop the image And that would be more helpful than, again, like I say, zooming in and out. There's another shot of the same. Like I said, this lasted for a total of 3 minutes. So I'm still checking with some other sources to try to determine what this, could possibly be. I have seen things similar myself, and I have seen where small flocks of actually birds will gather, and due to the lighting conditions in the sky, cloud cover, and other atmospheric conditions, they will blend together and almost look like an object, because they will fly so close together that, they look like one solid mass. But generally, that's when large groups of birds are either migrating or gathering before a storm, things of that nature. But in this particular case, it's definitely hard to say for sure. You can also get anomalies in the clouds. And if you notice, there is a cloud band running through there. And possibly what that could be, I need to confirm this. I'm going to try to get in touch with a local meteorologist. But with the object being in the same trajectory and lasting for about 3 minutes or so, that could actually also be a hole in the cloud. And I've also seen that. It'll look almost cookie cutter, like a chunk of the cloud is missing. And there's numerous reasons that can happen. But sometimes a cloud will get a hole, and as it's moving through the sky, it looks like an object moving, when in reality, the cloud is what is actually moving. Now, this last case here is case, as you can see, L541P. This was a trail camera that was set up down in Brown County, Ohio. Very odd footage. The witness told me that this was about 50 to 100 yards out, actually farther than what the trail camera should be able to pick up. Now, at first glance, it looks like something moving extremely fast and doing what is called motion blur. If you've ever taken a picture where the subject is moved, or even if you move, you'll get a blurry photo. If they wave a hand in front or something to that extent, you can get definitely a blurry image. So I've sent the photographs of this in an email to the company that made the camera. I haven't heard back yet, so I plan on calling them probably first of the week. Try to get a hold of somebody and see if they've got any idea. Because a lot of times with camera anomalies, the camera itself will be known for it. You'll see some cameras are known to give lens flares if you're taking photos of the sky, when the sun's out. Things of that sort. So, I'm definitely, like I say, looking into this one as well. So, it's been an active, month, to say the least. Typically, November is the busiest month of reports for me. Not necessarily meaning all sightings happened in November, but that's generally when they're sent to me. But I do get a lot of new sightings from November. And the only thing that I can think of for a valid reason is in November, at least around here, the skies are oftentimes crystal clear at night. And even though it's getting colder, it's still not cold enough to the point that nobody's outside. It's not sub-zero or anything like that, like you would have in the dead of winter. So people are still out a little bit, and I think that is why more things are spotted in November versus any other time. In the summertime, when it is nice, skies can be more hazy, and you just don't see as much. So those are the most recent things that I've had sent to me that I'm still working on. And again, my podcast, which is the Haddix Report on Paranormal Road, will be on the channel here shortly as soon as it's produced and released. I just recorded it right before I recorded this particular video. So if you would like to hear the podcast and everything else that's involved, feel free to subscribe to the channel, or you can look up Paranormal Road wherever you get your favorite podcasts, even on iTunes, I believe now, and you can follow everything there. Now, I will not always have a Haddix report in every podcast, but for the most part, you know, as things come in and as I'm getting more information from cases, I will include that. And I've got an interesting case historically. It loosely ties in with this time of year, Thanksgiving. Not necessarily the sighting wasn't this time of year, but pilgrims and that sort is included. So if you check out the podcast here in the coming days when it's released and uploaded to the channel, or like I said, go to your favorite podcast provider, find Paranormal Road, and go ahead and subscribe to that, and then you'll catch it as soon as it's released. But again, anything that includes the Haddix report will be on the channel, the full podcast. But if you want to catch all the episodes, like I say, go to your favorite podcast provider and follow Paranormal Road. You can also find Central Ohio UFO Reporting Center on Facebook, or you can always go to my website, which again, Central Ohio UFO Reporting Center.us, and everything will be there. You could submit a report, comment on the website. If you've got any questions, you can get a hold of me that way through private message. You can just do a public comment there or here on YouTube even, but remember that anyone can see it. You can also go on Facebook and find Paranormal Road and get in touch with them if need be, and they can relay a message. But my goal has always been to respond to any messages within 24 hours. And then if I need any further info, I will try to get that. Now, if you want to submit a report, you know, you can do it through any of those means, but I would really prefer if you go to the website and click on the link at the top to submit a report and actually fill out the report. There's not that many questions there, but it gives me all the information for the most part that I need to really do the investigation. You know, it can be tough to figure things out sometimes without enough information, or at least approximate. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least approximate. You know, where you were at, time, direction, things of that sort. And if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, it does happen, and I can always be in touch and try to help figure it out. But when things are very vague, it makes it very tough to know where to look or who to get in contact with. So it's always the more information, you know, the better. So if you do see anything, you know, it's always best if you can jot something down, or, you know, even if it's send yourself an email, whatever the case may be, just so you'll have the basics of time, date, location. And from there, we can try to figure out the rest of it. But that's what I've got for this particular video. I ran a little longer than I wanted, but if anybody that's watching this has any ideas, even just a wild guess of what you think any of these objects are in the videos and pictures, feel free to leave a comment and give me an idea. No matter how out there you think it might be, I mean, you know, anything, you know, could be the right, you know, point me in the right direction maybe. It's always good to have more than one set of eyes on these things. So, like I said, feel free to leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and as always, keep looking up.